The origin story of the Los Angeles Clippers history. 1970 to 1978 Buffalo Braves. The franchise began in Western New York as the Buffalo Braves, one of three NBA expansion franchises that began play in the 1970-71 season, along with the Portland Trail Blazers and Cleveland Cavaliers. They played their home games at the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium, along with another Buffalo team that would begin play that year, the National Hockey League's Buffalo Sabres. After two bad seasons, the Braves' fortunes started to change under coach Jack Ramsay and star forward center Bob McAdoo. McAdoo led the NBA in scoring for 3 consecutive seasons and was named the league's MVP in the 1974-75 season. The Braves qualified for the playoffs 3 times in a row, losing twice to the eventual Eastern Conference champions, the Boston Celtics, in 1974 and 1976, and the Washington Bullets in 1975. Despite the team's modest success in Buffalo, Braves owner Paul Snyder and the league found it impossible to schedule home games at the Auditorium because of the Canisius Golden Griffins men's basketball team, which had a pre-existing lease on the arena and priority on game dates over the Braves, with the next best dates in turn taken by the much more successful Sabres. At a time where the NBA was nearing a nadir and the league did not have its current prestige, the Griffins saw the Braves as a threat to their own success and purposely scheduled all the best dates at the arena to prevent the Braves from succeeding. As a result, after a failed attempt to sell the team to an owner who intended to move it to South Florida, Snyder sold the team to Kentucky Colonels owner John I. Brown Jr., who decimated the team's roster, traded away all of its stars, and drove attendance down to the point where they could break their own lease on the arena. Eventually, Brown met with Celtics owner Irv Levin in 1978 so they could trade franchise ownerships. Southern California resident Levin then decided to move the Braves to San Diego, something the league would have never allowed him to do with the Celtics. Asked about the move, Levin nominated a shorter commute for himself as a key reason. 1978-1984 San Diego Clippers. In 1978, San Diego welcomed the relocation of the Buffalo Braves franchise. As the city's previous NBA franchise, the San Diego Rockets had relocated to Houston 7 years earlier in 1971. Another failed basketball franchise in the city had been the San Diego Conquistadors. San Diego team officials did not think Braves was a proper representative nickname for the club in San Diego, and a local naming contest ultimately decided on Clippers, in reference to the city being known for the great sailing ships that passed through San Diego Bay. The first head coach of the Clippers was chosen to be Gene Shue, a respected tactician. He preferred a fast playing style with many scoring opportunities. Only 3 players from the Braves started in the team: Randy Smith, Swen Nader, and Scott Lloyd. Other starting players included Kermit Washington and Sidney Wicks. World B. Free was also brought in exchange for a future first-round pick for the Philadelphia 76ers. The 1978-79 season started off poorly, with the Clippers' first win only on the 4th game against the Chicago Bulls. The team lost 12 of its 18 first games and dropped to the bottom of the Pacific Division. Player Kevin Cunnert argued they had the killer instinct of a field mouse. The worst loss came against the San Antonio Spurs, with a loss of 163-125. Nevertheless, within weeks, Free had become the leading scorer, as well as becoming a public icon. He finished second overall in NBA scoring average with 28.9 per game. George Gervin of the San Antonio Spurs had a 29.6 average. Shue, meanwhile, tried to create a team spirit by creating a common social life. By the annual break for the All-Star Game, however, the Clippers had improved, winning half of their 54 games, leading to a 6th ranking in the Western Conference. Aiming for one of the 6 playoff spots for the conference, they managed to win 8 games in a row, and then another 5 games consecutively. Playing at the San Diego Sports Arena, the Clippers posted a record of 43-39 in their first season in California under leaving them 2 wins shy of the final playoff spot. It was also the first season in Southern California for longtime announcer Ralph Lawler began his association with the franchise. 1989-1994 playoff appearances. The Clippers traded the rights to the recently drafted Danny Ferry and Reggie Williams for high-scoring shooting guard Ron Harper at the start of the 1989-90 season. Los Angeles had a 19-19 record nearly halfway into the season, prompting some to seriously consider the team as a possible playoff contender. That move, along with the 1987 NBA draft of Ken Norman, the 1988 selections of Danny Manning and Charles Smith, was acquired from Philadelphia in exchange for the draft rights to Hersey Hawkins, and the 1990 draft of Loy Vaught formed a nucleus that would make the franchise a playoff contender. Midway through the 1991-92 season, the Clippers made yet another coaching change. Larry Brown, recently fired by the San Antonio Spurs, was hired as the team's head coach in late January 1992. He replaced Mike Schuler, who had led the team to a 22-25 record before his firing. Brown finished the season with a 23-12 mark for a 45-37 overall, the franchise's first winning season in 13 years. For the first time since moving to Los Angeles, they finished with a better record than the crosstown Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers advanced to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years since the franchise's Buffalo heyday, but were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs by the Utah Jazz, 3-2. Due to the late April 1992 Los Angeles riots, the Anaheim Convention Center was the site of Game 4 of the series, which the Clippers won. The team made the playoffs again in the 1992-93 season with a 41-41 record, but lost again in 5 games in the first round, this time to the Rockets. 2000-2009 further struggles at Staples Center. The 2000-01 season brought changes. Derek Strom was sent to the Orlando Magic in exchange for Corey Maggette and the draft rights to Kean Dooling. The Clippers' 2 draft picks that year were childhood friends from Illinois. High schooler Darius Miles' 3rd overall pick and Quentin Richardson 18th overall pick. The team became popular among fans with its high-flying style of basketball, and the Clippers did improve slightly, registering a 31-51 record. The team also led the NBA in bench scoring, with 37 points per game. To improve upon the previous season, the Clippers acquired high-scoring and rebounding power forward Elton Brand from the Chicago Bulls in exchange for the draft rights to Tyson Chandler. Brand earned a spot on the 2002 NBA Western Conference All-Star team as an injury replacement for Shaquille O'Neal. The Clippers contended for most of the season, but won only 3 of the last 12 games and finished 39-43, 5 games out of the playoffs. In order to seriously challenge for playoff contention in 2003, the franchise traded Miles to the Cavaliers for Andrew Miller, who led the NBA in assists in 2000 and won 0-2 with 11 per game. With a seasoned point guard in Miller, Lamar Odom at small forward, one of the league's best power forwards in Brand, and center Olo Akandi, as well as having the best supporting cast in the league, the Clippers threatened a potential playoff run. However, poor team chemistry and injuries, the Clippers lost 293 man games to injury. They finished with a disappointing 27-55 record. Coach Alvin Gentry was also replaced, with Dennis Johnson entering midway through the 2002-03 season. That's all for today's origin story video, guys. Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let us know what origin story you'd like to learn about next in the comments. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. See you in the next video. Until then, best wishes. Thanks for watching.